Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope everyone's doing well. Been some time since doing a video, but got a couple things already in the works that you should be hopefully able to get out within the next couple days or so. But in the meantime, got something really cool to show you. So recently, got a friend of mine got some modeling stuff from an auction, which included quite a few kits and a couple odds and ends. Nothing too exciting, but there was one kit in particular that was really cool that I thought was worth sharing, which would be this 1972 Chevy Vega by MPC. Now, this one here's from what I can tell now, this is officially the oldest kit I now have in my collection, as this is a 1971 release of this kit, which of course now the car's been modified and altered in different ways. So really, this is the only real way to get a stock version of a Vega, which I find, which from the front, pretty much to me, these cars pretty much look like just a miniature Camaro, as the front ends pretty much look similar, aside from the turn lights are circles instead of the rectangles that go on the underside of the bumper. So figured this would be a cool kit just to show off. Maybe do a build up eventually. So on here, just gives you, just shows you quite a few things of it, like opening rear trunk, choice of wheel options, and most impressively, you can get the choice of the two engines, the stock inline four, or go out for a supercharged 454 Chevy engine. And of course, wheels and roll bar. So there's definitely quite a lot of potential with this kit. So getting getting it opened, the kit does the kit did indeed come with still has the instructions, which fared really well. Nothing really crumbling or too brittle. But of course, it's just your basic fold out instruction pamphlet, showing you how to build everything. Just and then a couple tips here and there. So, let's get this closed. That folded to the side, the kit does have the decal sheet, which is pretty much trashed at this point, especially in the bottom corner. I don't believe the decals would be salvageable, even if I was to use them. But for them, I probably won't use them regardless. Aside from the Joe American, that's if those still work. These would still be usable for something. So, it's a bit unfortunate, but like I would have likely not used the decals at all for this build if I was to build this per se. So, of course, got most of the parts here. Like you got the glass, and then right here's the hinge mechanism for the rear window, or for the rear hatch per se. But impressively, what I'm quite shocked about is that there's no real scuffing on the windows. As for the most part, you get old kits and you find, like, say, the tires have melted themselves into the plastic from being in storage for so long. So, so I'm quite glad that that wasn't the case on here. That's going to be so that's really exciting to see. And a couple other small parts here, like we got the entire chrome tree of the multi-spoke wheels here, and then of course with the stock steely hubcaps. Got the front grille, rear bumper with the 1972 kind of, in a way, I suppose, promo style plates. And of course, got the blower, supercharger, and valve covers for the custom option. What's interesting here actually is that the stock engine's actually molded in chrome, which it's an interesting thing to do, as most of the time it would be the custom engine that would be chromed out. So if anything, can always just strip the chrome off and then repaint it a proper engine color. So there's that. Then before I get to the bar, I might as well show off some of the other pieces. Like here we got what looks like the rear wheel backs. They're just on this tree but it looks of it's been clipped off, so can might just end up trimming that. Then we got parts for the 454, and what looks like here is a parachute bag. So there are there's quite a few extra parts that you're going to get with this kit. Okay, like here's one of the other wheel backs for the front. Very basic. Exhaust headers. And oh yeah, this one here looks like this here the battery just loosely sitting in place. Then of course the wheel pins, which with the chassis here, of course just the style where it slots through on the back and pushes all the way through like some of the other NPC kits. So there's that. And then chassis two's got quite a bit of detail on it. It's rather, of course, being a small car, it's going to have quite the small chassis. Of course, with the axle, drive shaft, and exhaust manifold coming all the way through. Which, of course, if you're building the drag version, you're pretty much just not going to bother with that. It's got quite a lot of detail for your basic 70s NPC kit, which is nice. And got a couple other parts like got the firewall and the engine halves, which are just basic. I wouldn't be surprised if, say, these parts here were used in other AMT NPC kits of the later years. And then more drag accessories like the serpentine belt and pulleys, fan, the racing seat belts, instrument cluster, and of course the roll bar, which for a car like this is quite narrow and tiny. So that's pretty cool. And a couple other parts here and there, as got more pieces of the engine, like the intake and engine heads. Put that to the side. Got some other, like here's another one of the wheel backs and the GM steering wheel of the time. Yeah, so looking at all these parts here, it definitely looks to be complete. So it's just a matter of what I'll end up building it up as. Got here little mirrors. And throttle body, part of the throttle body. Then another battery. So comes with a couple extra parts. So, and a couple other odds and ends here and there. Like got the dash, another wheel back. So that's good. And then a few other small odds and ends. And then So with that out of the way, here's the full set. I've got the full set of wheels and tires, which pretty much consists of the 4 stock tires that you get pretty much every kit, along with 2 extra drag slicks, which have a good amount of detail. Of course, can always detail that up a little bit more and then sand down the edges and or the sidewalls to give more of a worn down look. Then get a couple other parts here like the interior tub, which looks just like which is kind of like the '63 Corvette, how the seats are already molded in, and not too crazy in the amount of details, but still pretty nice to depict the actual car. And then, of course, you got the parts where you have the radiator or the radiator support with the radiator built in. And then you got the hood, which for these cars, for a while I thought they were a they were your standard pop-up hood, but these are actually just a tilt hood, which is pretty unique and unusual. So that's quite cool. Now, of course, got the rear hatch, which is to be in good shape. And then it's got nice line molding so that can easily go around with a marker to replicate a gaskets. So so that's looking good. Then of course here we have the body, which is still in really nice shape. Not There's a little bit of body line molding on the sides and edges, but overall it's not really the worst I've ever seen on a kit. So yeah, it looks really good. So it's nice to see. It's nice when you get an old kit and everything about it is in really good shape. So yeah. So pretty much going. So there's a little bit of a look around of an old vintage kit of mine. So pretty much going to look at different ways. Maybe put a couple pieces together here and there, or who knows, may do an entire build up video of this, which I'm definitely would be looking forward to building. As not a lot of people do vintage builds, so, and of course not really gonna be selling something like this, so might as well make it into a good shelf piece, especially with the amount of customization options you get with the car. Yeah, so yeah, definitely it's gonna be a lot to look forward to for this. So yeah, that's pretty much that, and I think that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.